guys, sometimes I like to get very close to the camera, and sometimes I don't. Have you ever looked at someone and said, they need to be medicated? I know. My dad told me when I was a kid, he said, if I'd have known about Ritalin, you'd have been on it. This is what happens when you're not on it. Anyway, that is not, listen, I'm telling you right now, thank God for modern day medicines, because we'd all be in a world of hurt without it. What I realized is that I have a weird sense of humor that probably offends many of you. I can't help it. First of all, it's amazing to me that anybody would not think I'm funny. What is the matter with you? Come on, please. Hey everybody, before you get really into the heart of this incredible video, which is so beautiful and reflective, it's gonna blow your mind. Will you do me a favor? Will you press that like and subscribe button, spread it to your friends? It would mean a lot to us. Simple, living on a farm, there's not a ton of new things every single day. In some ways, it's a regular grind. You get up, you take care of the animals, you get ready for school if it's during that time of the year, you work on the basic projects that you have to do. And obviously you can tell from just little glimpses of our house that cleaning isn't always the priority. But in our defense, we just want people to feel better about themselves, better about their homes. Thinking, well, at least we don't have as messy of a house as the Pagets. You know, that's what we do for you. We're givers. It was pretty funny today. Hang on, don't go anywhere. I had the chance to, do a little work in the farm, and then we went down to the mall, and I had all this crap on my feet. I didn't realize it. So after sitting there and waiting for them to bring out my stuff and transfer from my one phone to the other, I had left this pile of basically mud and cow poop on the ground in the Apple store, which I think is perfect, because that store needs a little bit of humanity and real life going on there. It's too clean, right? So one of the things that I was thinking about today was just how much stuff has been done in the last 6 years. We're not going to be able to go through all of it, but just even looking at the way that the kids have grown and looking at the way just the animals have grown in a year, how we've grown, not just physically, but just matured, and how certain priorities that were so important earlier are not as important. Especially on the homestead here, things can change. You know, you decide all of a sudden we're working really on wood, that's going to be our focus, or we're going to work on clearing land, that's going to be our focus, or we're going to work on making sure that the chickens have a safe place to be. You know, and in some ways they're all together and you're doing all of that, but then in other ways you're splitting off little chunks so that you can manage it. And that's the thing is that when we first got here 6 years ago, we realized, holy cow, it's overwhelming. We can't do it all. But little bits here and there over the last 6 years, we're so happy with what's happened. And it gives us a lot of hope for what's going to happen, what we want to see happen in the coming years. Weights? Where are you going, yo? Where are you going?
Chimney Bluffs.
Chimney Bluffs?
I don't know, some state park thing.
Just gonna go hang with your friends?
Yeah.
All right, well, be careful.
Thanks.
This is all peppermint. I wish you could smell it. There's always one. This kind of reflecting, just looking back and thinking about where we've come from, where we want to go. I think that's a big deal. That's a part of everybody's life. You don't have to live on a homestead to know that that's an important process. Where have I been? What have I accomplished? What were my goals? But I noticed that, especially for Linda and I, that we can't live life based on just a to-do list. There has to be a little spontaneity. And actually, I think that's probably what I bring to the scene. A lot of spontaneity, a lot of kind of, let's just see what happens. Linda's very driven, very type A. So sometimes those two worlds can kind of clash a little bit. And we've learned over the years how to work together. And the complementarity of the two have made it such a great experience, because it's not just randomness at all times. There's certainly some structure and order that we need to have. But that kind of flexibility and that willingness to kind of, let's try this out, has given us great memories. And I think back on my family, and each of my kids have a little bit of those kind of qualities in them. Some of them are very driven, very type A, and some of them are very not type A. Maybe I'm rambling, but simply put, I want this to be a great year. We all were trying to figure out what happened there in 2020, and for understandable reasons. It was overwhelming, it was frightening, it was crazy, but we want to live life to the full. And doing that is really almost like a decision. Like, we're going to try to live life even though our circumstances are trying to push us in another direction. And so we do what we can with what we have wherever we are. That's kind of our philosophy. And so in a lot of ways, what can we do? Well, we have work on the farm that we can do. I may not be able to get out and do all of the work that I was doing in a public forum yet, but it's starting to happen. So as that transition takes place, I'll be doing a little bit more traveling. You might get some video of me on the road. That's been a regular part of my life for many, many years. But when we're home, we like that cadence and that structure that is kind of normal for us here. And for some people, it would be a little bit overwhelming. It's a lot of work, and it's a lot of just kind of trying to deal with various crises that happen, whether it's a broken lawnmower or a chainsaw or some sort of a bug that's in the garden. There's always something that we got to tweak and modify. And I guess part of that is just when you step back a little bit and you have that little reflection time, then what is kind of cool is you realize, wait a minute, it is hard, it's difficult, it's not like I was expecting, but it's good. This is what I want. And it was kind of cool because yesterday, for example, I knew that we had some problems with this sawmill back there with the putting it together. The pictures were not matching up. I was frustrated, but I called the company, and the Hudson people helped me out, and we were able to recognize that I had a newer engine compared to the graphics that I'd been given in those brochures, the instruction manuals. And so he talked me through it on the phone. And I guess that's a good example, is that I could just allow that frustration to be overwhelming, or I could kind of phone a friend and see if I could get it figured out. And the feeling of understanding a little bit more about that sawmill, what I have and what I can do, it was a satisfying feeling. It's a good feeling. So anyway, all that to say, I wonder, where you're at in your journey. Maybe you're struggling a little bit. Maybe things have been still not the same since the pandemic. Maybe you're frustrated, dealing with loss, anxiety, whatever. And I guess ultimately I'm just inviting you to take a little bit of time and reflect and ask some questions. And maybe you need to modify some things, and maybe you need to look back and say, yeah, it's a tough year, but look where we've come from. Look how far. Look at how much my kids have grown. Look how much, this plant has grown. Look how much I have grown intellectually, psychologically, emotionally, spiritually, whatever. That's good. I mean, ultimately, some of you are super driven, type A. You could go from list to list to list, checklist, and still not feel satisfied. And that's a good question to ask yourself. Why am I not satisfied, even though I've accomplished all these things? And maybe there's something a little bit more. And I think what we realize is that when we slow down a little bit, we can reflect and ask some questions. Am I where I want to be right now? And the answer for us is still absolutely yes. We love being here, and it still is the happy place homestead.
I put that minute song, and what I'm seeing, instead of trying to lengthen the song to the videos, I'm cutting the videos to the song. Okay? Because you just don't need...
It's a good idea, actually.
You don't need... Some things are just... You just tighten it up a little bit.
Cows definitely have gotten a lot bigger. They were little babies. We were all bottle feeding them back in the day, and a little over a year old. Here is the problem, though. They're all pushing and shoving against the fence, which at least they're held together with these carabiners, but still kind of should have pushed the bucket back a little. Good grief. You'd think that they're starving. But every day, they get food. The pigs get a bunch of slop, so do the chickens. Just any scraps from the vegetable garden. We supplement occasionally with this feed. But, I mean, during the summer, they have so much to eat on in the pasture here. So, I mean, obviously right here is their little stomping ground, but... Okay, well, you know what? You're not helping with making things a little bit more even with you bumping into this mic holder. Is this a scene of the crime sketch? Obviously, one of my children has allowed for this person to be identified as female. But you know what I love is just the way that the kids put things away. That's what's so special to me. Just knowing that I can come outside and not have to worry about driving over anything. At least it's not in the middle of the driveway. At least we're not going to run over this hose and ruin another one. No big deal. At least the fence posts were put away. I just figured you wanted to do that for a second. Just stare at me in my beard and my mustache. Take one last look, people. It's going to be shaved off. I might ask Maddie to give me a haircut too, because I have to go tomorrow to a trip to St. Louis, and I can't just go into an airport looking like Grizzly Adams. I have to, pick it up a notch. I'll probably put shoes on and get fully dressed. You're welcome, American Airlines. All right, so the animals are fed. Check. You know what I'm going to have them do, though, is I'm going to have them take out fresh water to the animals. One of the future projects is going to be a well dug in the back for the animals and a well dug in the front for the garden. we have a lot of water on this property. So thankfully, usually we don't have to worry about our well running dry. But that being said, it is an inconvenience to have to take water from one end of the property to the other. So we're just trying to figure out how to make that a little bit simpler. We'll see. But most of the basics are done for the outside work for now. And I'm going to go inside and just do a little work in my office, try to create some cool stuff for you. So, yeah, if you have anything that you're interested in, let us know. But overall, thanks. Just want to say thanks. I need you to take water out to the animals.
All right. I already messed with the baby chicks today.
Yeah, thank you. I want you to dump that water and kind of almost start over. So you might want to drag the hose back.
The hose doesn't reach all the way.
Well, maybe if you reached it as far as it could, then it wouldn't be so hard to carry all the buckets to the bucket.
Probably.
What you eating?
Food. Don't get the mic on in it.
Was the microphone in it?
It was almost in it.
Not good. Whatever you do, I want you to sit there and do nothing today. Okay? Okay. Well, you're already disobeying me.
Yum. Hello. Hello. Yeah. She's like, what is that marvelous furry thing? Hey, stop. Don't touch that. It's the mic, you ding ding.
Where's in the office? You know, you're probably thinking, Chris, you need another book. I know. I don't know what my deal is with books, but I do love them, and that's a whole different video. But long and the short of it is, you know what I think I love the most about books? One is it takes me to a place that often and most usually I don't think of, you know. So whether it's an adventure story, some sort of mystery, basic fiction, that can be fantastic. And just the way that people word things is really encouraging or insightful. But one of the other reasons that I love books so much is that it helps me to reflect on what's important, and it keeps perspective, you know, me having a decent perspective. And also it provides me the ability to say things so perfectly without sounding awkward. I need to read more because it's not working. Hey everybody, thanks so much for watching. We appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. Maybe you can spread the word, send the video around to your circle of friends. We'd love to encourage you, and hopefully these videos do. So have a great day.